Lawmakers are voting on a large list of bills here in Taipei on the last day of this legislative session. Many have been submitted by the opposition Kuomintang, which holds the most seats in the legislature, but they're being opposed by the ruling Democratic Progressive Party. Our reporter Reece Ayers is live for us at the legislature. Reece, what are some of the bills being voted on today, and why are they controversial?
Well, perhaps two of the most controversial bills that are being voted on are proposed reforms to Taiwan's media and communications regulator, that's the NCC, and the new Residence Act, and they're both put forward by the opposition KMT or Kuomintang. Now, put quite simply, that first one, the NCC reforms, would essentially change the way that the Media Regulators Committee is selected. Now, the KMT are not very happy with the way that the current DPP-appointed committee has been dealing with things in the last few years. One of the most prominent issues was how they took the China-leaning TV station Zhongtian Television off the air. Now, the reforms would force committee members to resign at the end of their term, whether or not there was someone to replace them. Now, that could essentially leave Taiwan's media regulator a ship without a crew. Now, that second controversial one I mentioned there, which was the new Residence Act, that would make it easier for immigrants, overseas professionals and foreign spouses to be able to call Taiwan their home. Now, that might sound like quite a progressive policy that the left-leaning DPP might want to get behind, but they actually oppose it, citing national security risks. The bill would also make it easier for Chinese nationals to settle in Taiwan, and that's something that the DPP is against. But with the KMT holding a majority in the legislature and with backing from the third party, Taiwan People's Party, most, if not all of these bills are looking likely to pass.
And Reece, the legislature has been in session for several hours now. Do we have any results yet? And what's the feeling like there in the room?
Well, there's been some protests and shouting and placard waving from the DPP, but there haven't been any fistfights breaking out, as we've seen several times in the past in the legislature. But there have been some decisions made regarding the NCC reforms, the media regulator reforms I mentioned. That bill has passed. It was very close. It was 52 votes to 51. But that does mean that the current DPP-appointed committee will have to resign at the end of their term, whether or not there's someone to replace them. But decisions regarding other bills, including the new Residence Act, are still under discussion, as you can see behind me, though it's likely to pass because the joint opposition made up of the KMT and the TPP have the majority. This will be the last session for quite some time, so the KMT are likely to want to push through as many bills as they can today, which could lead this session going on into the evening hours.